Welcome. It's your boy Carcino here as I spin in my boss chair. Now that that's done, let's talk about it. And Nicole X, right on cue, is always the first one. I admire your loyalty. Now, in this new Star Wars that's coming out, don't fall to the dark side. I'm already on the dark side. There's no other side to be on. So, in this film, you'll see the rage of Kylo Ren. We're going to see not the unsure guy who's trying to appease Darth Vader or the little boy who's scared. We're going to see someone who's very hell-bent on revenge. He was kind of a spoiled brat, and they took away a little bit of his invincibility once the mask came off. The menacing Kylo Ren was more like a pouty brat, more than something people should fear in the galaxy. And this one, they're saying that Kylo Ren is going to become the force that people feared and that we thought he was going to be, an intimidating force in the galaxy. Now, there's a lot of different directions this thing is going in. Why does Luke Skywalker is dressed in basically the dark side attire with the crystal of the red crystal, which is basically they say your chi's supposed to change the crystals, but that's not true. The Jedi, the Sith, use those crystals for different reasons. They mined, as you saw in Rogue One, they mined that entire Jedi for all the crystals. They barred anybody from coming in there getting a crystal, so they could never make any more lightsabers. Lightsabers were deemed illegal in Star Wars unless you worked for the Empire. So anybody had a lightsaber, they had the right to take your head off. If you banished a branded a lightsaber, you out of there. So during that time, lightsabers have been outlawed. So that's why you don't see anybody else. That's why you don't see anybody else with a lightsaber. That's why they're so rare. So that now that they have this old lightsaber that belongs to Luke, we still don't know. Let me see. You want to see my lightsaber? All my Star Wars stuff is put up. Yeah, we're put up. We're getting ready for the event. When it stuff comes around, I'll unlock and take all that stuff out, but so now we have a lot of questions that's going to need to be asked, because when this rage happens, it's going to play out a lot like Empire Strikes Back. The bad guys are going to win. It's going to set up a third act in which the good guys are going to have to rally to see how they're going to defeat this new power, the new order. It's just a rehashment, I believe, but I think it's going to be done in a way that's modernized, where it's going to be a lot more gripping and a lot more menacing. And Kylo Ren seems like he's going to be a lot more serious. And I want to see how that progresses with the actual duel, with Rian Johnson handling the helm. Because I want to see Kylo not conflicted about his father. His father's not there anymore. So he seems to be sunken deep into this villain. He could be a great villain if they actually used him correctly. I was shocked with how little knowledge he had I'm like, how did he wipe out all these Jedis? You know, him and the Knights of Ren wipe out all the Jedis that Luke was training, and he barely seemed like he knows how to sword fight with his lightsaber. Oh, you're gonna see Hayden Christensen, I believe, as a Force ghost. I don't know if that crystal around Luke's neck is how he's gonna be able to talk to Vader. I don't know, but I expect a Force ghost to show up with Christian Haydenson. I mean, he was at Star Wars Celebration, and he ain't been at Celebration in 15 years. So that tells me right there, he's definitely gonna have something to do with Star Wars. And this last one. You will never see Jake Lloyd at Star Wars Celebration. He's too mentally broken up after the abuse he took after episode 1. Fans were very brutal to him. They were extremely brutal. I like Jumper too. I wanted to see the sequel. In the sequel, he went against an evil Jumper. Because remember, they found out, since we're never going to get the sequel, I don't think. Let me go ahead and tell you how the sequel went. The sequel is, you know how they always said, how he always had to defend himself and says, I'm different. I'm not like the other ones. And everybody be like, no, you guys always start off good and you guys go bad. And they never understood why that was. They never explained that in the movie Jumper. You understand that? And they was like, why do they fear us so much? Why do they want to kill us? You never understood why. They never did it because it was supposed to be explained in the sequel. In the sequel, you see the reason why they don't like jumpers. Because there's a bad one. He's a jumper and he's bad. And his plan is to destroy and rule. And Hayden Christensen ends up fighting him. Oh, stick to Star Wars? Okay. Yes, it did poor at the box office. It did decent, and I thought it was shot very well. But it didn't bring in what they thought they was going to bring in. But that's never stopped them from making sequels before. I saw it in the movie theaters too. But from that point, he ends up battling this guy in an epic, like, jumper battle. They going from zoop, 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 zoop. And then he learns the power to expand his power. Jumper didn't kill his career. His career was damaged by Star Wars. And then people didn't want to hire him. Then people were like, he can't act. And because of that, people didn't want to work with him. But as Hayden Christensen was being killed, he put on some type of suit. And as they were fighting and he was in this suit, he grabbed the guy and the guy got him in a headlock. He looked up at the sky. He saw the moon. and boof, jumped the guy to the moon. Boof, and came back, and the guy was just floating. That's how it ended in the sequel. He was able to jump to the moon by just looking at it. That's how deep and powerful he was, Hayden Christensen, at the end of Jumper 2. We'll probably never see it filmed, though. That's how he beat the villain at the end. He jumps to the moon, grabs the guy, and jumps to the moon. And by him being in the suit, and he jumped back, poof. And next thing you know, dude just started floating up into space. Just gone. Yeah, we were all ready for the movie, man, and we got gypped. Yep, he jumps to the moon. That was his only resort to stop that other jumper. Yes, I believe Kylo Ren does become good. Because Luke still, after all of this, believes the prophecy is about Kylo Ren. So because he believes the prophecy is about Kylo Ren, he doesn't want to kill him. Luke wants to save him and bring him back and feel that he's lost. So that's where they at with it right now. But I got to get out of here. I got to make some runs. I'll holler at y'all later.